So Kingdom Hearts 2 came out back in 2005 and it's been 20 years since its release. And to this day, a lot of people feel like that was one of the best RPGs of the PS2 era. And I don't know, some people feel like it's a bit overrated. Some people feel like it was just as good as people say it is. A lot of people would probably go on record and tell you that was better than Kingdom Hearts 3 from 2019. At least, the story was, the pacing of the story was better and everything. Um, I think it's kind of odd that this game never got a proper like modern day remake of any sort for any like modern day game systems, whether it be the PS4, whether it be the PlayStation 5. And the closest thing we got to like a remake was Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, which came out back in 2014. And I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was one of the three games I was up there. It was that game along with Birth by Sleep and another one I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, like Kingdom Hearts 2 is was one of those games that I don't know. I feel like it deserved a high definition like remake like at least a decade ago in my opinion, but it's something that Square Enix never really prioritized, or they never really put any time and emphasis on that because they're always trying to move forward, along with the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 was in developmental hell for like 15 years. And even though like it took Square Enix as long as it did to make a sequel to Kingdom Hearts 2 with Kingdom Hearts 3. It's just I don't know, it just felt like a letdown even though like Kingdom Hearts 3 was a massive commercial success. It did like 6.7 mil in terms of sales, but at the same time a lot of people felt let down by the story and various other aspects of the game. And obviously they're trying to do everything they can to avoid making that mistake with Kingdom Hearts 4, and that's rumored to be coming out sometime in 2027. An official release date has not been like revealed or anything, and I'm crossing my fingers they don't push that back or anything like that, because I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 was a game that had got pushed back multiple times before it actually came out. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing with Kingdom Hearts 4 is like trying to top the level of commercial success they had with Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that's going to be their biggest challenge. I feel like they could make a more superior game in terms of storytelling and character development with Kingdom Hearts 4. But yeah, as far as Kingdom Hearts 2 is concerned, I'm surprised that Square Enix has not made any plans to do an official remake or anything like that, especially for this year, because I think this year marks the 20th anniversary of the game. Has the game has been around for like I want to say for like three or four generations, and it's crazy that it doesn't get talked about as much as it should. And it's probably because, other RPGs start to become more popular. Like for example, like I think this game came out like a year before Persona 3 came out, and a lot of people said Persona 3 was underrated, but I don't think it was as successful as Kingdom Hearts 2. And then the Persona series started to get more and more popular over time, but that's Atlas and Sega, and that's a different company. Now you look at Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 12 came out like a year after Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. And obviously, that was a big deal as well. But the thing is, like, I think we got like a remake of Final Fantasy 12 like a few years ago, and to this day, like that game is still an attraction. And the crazy thing is, a lot of Square Enix's old games are still like big attractions to this day. And you would think that like outside of the Final Fantasy series, like Square Enix would try to capitalize that or try to capitalize on that even more for the most part, because it's like they're doing everything they can to milk the hell out of Final Fantasy 7, and understandably so, because that's probably one of their best selling games like ever. So they're doing remakes and sequels and all that stuff with it. And then you look at like Final Fantasy 16, which came out back in 2023. That game did good in terms of sales, but not as good as it should have done. And I guess because of that, I mean, I don't even know when Final Fantasy 17 is going to come out, or whether they're going to take a different direction or a different approach with that game, because I don't know. I feel like Final Fantasy 16 definitely lost its luster really fast, and it's to a point where people. I mean, it's just an afterthought at this point. People are forgotten about it by now. But a game like Kingdom Hearts 2, it's something that people still remember. A lot of lapsed fans from the for the Kingdom Hearts franchise and the series. I think they will definitely be emotionally invested in a remake if it's able to capture the magic of the original version of the game. But I don't know, I feel like that's me expecting too much, and I feel like it's something that's not necessarily a priority with Square Enix, even though it's money. I feel like this is something that we should be getting like before Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. um I don't know. I feel like Final Fantasy as an IP, like for the most part, it's past its peak in terms of popularity, and it's even though it's a name and it's something that gains mainstream attention, I do feel like a lot of the older stuff, like during the PS1 and PS2 era, it seems to stand out a lot more, and it's something that people talk about a lot. Probably with the exception of Final Fantasy 15 from 2016. A lot of people felt like that was overrated, but for the most part, it was one of the last like decent Final Fantasy titles that we've gotten. And don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 16 was actually a pretty good game. A lot of gaming publications had nothing but good things to say about it. But the problem is, it didn't sell as much as it should have, and it's not it doesn't have like a cult following like Final Fantasy 7 or 10 or 12 or anything like that. So yeah, I feel like the magic is just gone, and I think Square Enix should probably focus on remaking some of the older Kingdom Hearts games from the 2000s, because um I feel like when it comes to like Disney games and stuff like that, um, that decade is where Disney really stood out the most, because I remember like all the Mickey Mouse games that came out back in the 90s, even though they were fun. I don't feel like those games have the level of appeal that the Kingdom Hearts video games from the 2000s have. And um, and yeah, I mean, I feel like, they should definitely make, high definition, modern day remakes for, not just Kingdom Hearts 2, but for like Chain of Memories and, Birth by Sleep and, Recoding and all these other like, installments within the series that was really popular. I feel like, I feel like that's something that Square Enix should have done like years ago, but I don't know. I mean, it's not too late, but the thing is, do people still care about Kingdom Hearts like they did, like, 15 or 20 years ago or what have you, because I feel like at this point, Kingdom Hearts 4 is the only reason why people are still talking about the series altogether, because they have high expectations for it. um, Kingdom Hearts 3 could have been better, but it is what it is. It did its job in terms of, making money for the company and all that stuff. And we still have yet to get a Kingdom Hearts movie. I feel like that would be something that would be a box office hit if done right, whether you use CGI or whether you make it a live action movie. I feel like it's something that would definitely do well in movies, and I feel like it's something that would definitely, turn heads if marketed correctly. But I don't know, I digress. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is something that definitely deserves a remake, but I don't see Square Enix taking the necessary steps to make that a reality.